was a child, my mother used to read me stories. Not just one story on a random night at my bedside, but many stories. Dozens a day, perhaps. My mother was bedridden throughout the early days of my childhood, and thus she had ample time to spend with me and my sisters, which she did by reading. She has often cited this as the main reason that I grew up to love books, writing them as well as reading them. I don't doubt the power of those hours spent on the bed listening to her read. But I think I can say that it was not just the bare fact that she read. It was the way that she did it. It hardly mattered what book she read. Cinderella, History of the World, a book of poetry, a child's edition of The Hobbit. In her hands the books came alive. They were not mere words on a page. They were living, breathing incarnation of the characters and words within the pages. And it was her voice that made them come alive. I will always remember her book voice. It was a voice that respected the living aspect of the characters, who understood that the stories she was reading were so much more than a way to pass the time. They were shaping and forming the thoughts and character of a child. They set in motion unbelievable imaginations and wonderings and hopes and dreams. The history of the world was just as thrilling as The Hobbit, maybe even more so, as it really happened. As I grew up, I became a history buff. I could recite an insane number of dates and events off the top of my head, and history books became my constant companion. I relived the narratives and reenacted plays and stories, and I wrote my own thoughts on historical events and anecdotes on stacks of lined paper, which by now have crumpled from time and age. When I was 15, I decided to write my own story. It was a historical fiction novel based on the War of 1812, and looking back now, I smile at the childish wording and plot lines that I was so proud of back then. But it was a start, and from that moment I have never stopped writing. Mostly fan fiction, fun books, silly books, but there were always serious, real stories in the back of my mind that would come forth to become a novel every so often. They became stacked in my closet, pages of lined paper, smeared by water, handled by the adoring fingers of my sister, who was my beta reader and critic from that first story at 15 and still continues to be. As time went on and I became older, I transitioned to the laptop and began typing out my stories. Still a heavy mixture of the serious novel, the foray into comedy, and some stories for my siblings' birthdays. And now here I am. I still write, every day. It's one of those things that I have to do to sleep a little better and keep sanity alive in this world. I write because I read, and I read because of my mom and her voice and the way everything came alive. Books are so much more than words on a page. They change you in ways that nothing else quite can. In this day and age, books are fast becoming something of a commodity. Kindle is where the reading is. Ebooks, audiobooks, online libraries, AI summaries. It's all so much easier than actually sitting down and reading. But isn't that the point? If all we do are the easy things in life, aren't we regressing? Our brains yearn for more, for the deeper, for the challenging. We want to be pushed. We thrive on that moment of thrilling revelation when the book we are reading reveals what we thought was the complete opposite, or becomes suddenly what we hoped for all along. A good book makes us cry, makes us smile, makes us understand ourselves and our neighbors a little more deeply. And when I say a good book, I'm talking about the physical here. I'm not saying that Kindle and ebooks don't have their uses. I've saved a lot of money on college books by using online resources. But there's something that a physical book gives you that an ebook never can. It's the touch, the sense of private seclusion, the idea that captured within the pages that you hold between your hands is a new world. It's the beauty and grace that a physical book can add to any room, to any shelf, the sense of belonging and inner communion that a book gives you that no number of words on the screen can. Ebooks have their place, certainly, but nothing can ever replace the wonder and magic of a physical book. Stories are the reason you're here. That's why I created this channel. There's so much that I haven't done with stories, and there's so much more to do. Books and the stories within them changed my life, and I want them to change yours too. I want them to give you that smile that you need to lift your spirits. I want them to be the inspiration you need to go out and do that hard thing. I want them to help you be all that you can be. Stories can do that. If you just look a little deeper and a little closer and listen for that voice that makes them all come alive.